Oh, good. My hair looks great.
It does actually.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Over there, Fotheringhay Castle, or at least what's left of it.
It's a lovely mooring. It's so nice here. And it's so quiet because it's not a footpath. There's been no other boats on here.
Yeah, no, there's just been there was a couple of boats that came past, but nobody's moored up with us. We had a couple of people walking their dogs yesterday on the mound and chatting and stuff, but otherwise there's been no traffic. Yeah, really good place for Wi-Fi signal, not a really good place for actual Wi-Fi. but yeah, we had a pleasant couple of nights here. The gentleman who takes the fee did eventually show up. He did not show up as soon as we moored up, as we were warned.
He rattled his tin.
Yeah, showed up, rattled his tin. Was really nice.
I think it was worth it. I mean, we try not to pay for moorings, but sometimes it's just
It was worth it.
When you're moored outside a castle, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, even if the castle is just a lump of earth. But yeah.
I went for a walk to Ondel yesterday. I think I did 14 miles, and that's where we're going today.
So Joe knows where we're going.
Well, I don't think I told you, but I carried back some mushrooms and tomatoes and stuff.
Oh, good.
So I needn't have bothered. I was trying to be good.
Well, we might continue past there and get diesel at the marina, but we might leave that till tomorrow.
Yeah, it's windy again today. Oh, and I never told you. The route that you come back is a bit strange. So I came back across the field over there, where with the last lock that we went through.
Okay.
And the last person to go through hadn't reset it. It was set against us.
It's set the wrong way.
Yeah, they'd left the bottom gates open. So if we find that on this lock, then we'll have to do it 3 times.
Oh, good fun.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
But I didn't have a windlass or a key with me to redo it.
It's unfortunate when somebody can't read the instructions.
And they'd left the paddles up, so I think they were just being a lazy ass.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're trying to drain England. That's not a good idea. All right, well, anyway. George is over here. George has been wandering around.
George is in a knot. What has he done?
Oh, he's gotten himself in a knot. I was throwing the ball for him earlier. He took a little bit of wee on the sign, well, just below the sign that says Richard III was born here, so that's unfortunate. But that's what George thinks of the Yorkists, I guess. Or, well, not the monarchy, but specifically the Yorkists. Anyway, apparently George is more on the side of the House of Lancashire. Anyway, who knew? So, we're on our way. Okay. I'm tired, by the way.
Fotheringhay Bridge looks very handsome. It carries a single-track road over the River Nene and into the village. There's been a bridge here since the 16th century, and before that, access to the village was via a ford. This bridge was built in 1722, and it's a fairly tight squeeze going through it. What a pleasing view we have of the Church of St Mary and All Saints from the river. There are more mooring spots on this side of the bridge too. As we predicted, the lock's been left set in the wrong way by the previous boat. There's a sign just here saying that when you leave the lock, you need to leave the guillotine raised. The person who went through before us has left the guillotine lowered, they've left the paddles on the V-gates open, and they've left the V-gates open. So we're going to have to do this lock 3 times. We're going to have to drop it, raise it, and drop it again to leave it in the right position, which is quite annoying. These manual wheels are a lot of work, but that's no excuse for not doing them. The water management of the river relies on the locks being set correctly. I guess there is a chance that they just didn't know, but as all the locks on the Nene are the same, and there are signs everywhere, I really doubt that's the case. As you can see, lowering the gate is much easier than raising it. Luckily, mooring up at the lock landing to pick Michael and George up, the wind was in my favour, because that wasn't fun. But Michael's just raised the gate again and left the lock how it's supposed to be left, and then he'll pick up George and get back on the boat. Here we're passing the tiny village of Tansor. The village may be small, but some of the houses are huge. This one even has its own boathouse. And now we're passing the village of Cotterstock. It's a River Nene miracle. Cotterstock Lock has been left set in the right position. I wonder if the fact that this is an electrically operated lock has anything to do with it being set correctly. And up she goes again. wind's really picked up again, just as we're trying to moor up.
Bleh.
It was a good, really enjoyable cruise, but I'd say mooring up was a little bit hairy.
Yeah, the last few seconds weren't so great.
Michael dropped me and George off. We got off at the front and he threw me the rope. I was like, oh, that's good. I was pulling and pulling. The boat was just getting caught in the wind. And I'm losing it.
And I'm like, okay. So I got the tail end over, threw the mooring pins off the side, forgot to bring the hammer with me, jumped off, grabbed the rope, and the two of us were able to pull it in.
And then you got control of it and I was able to do everything else.
Yeah.
But then I was in such a flap, like I wasn't panicking, but I was like doing...
George, get your mouth out of that sheep shit. It's just... Sit down. Where's your ball? Where's your ball? There's your ball. Get your ball. Okay, now, right there, bent. Oh, sheep shit.
I wasn't panicking, but I wasn't like thinking as well as I should have been. So we got the boat moored up, but then it wasn't in the best position.
Well, yeah, we were kind of. I mean, the bank here is quite flat, so if we'd come in about 10 feet back, it probably wouldn't have been better, except for the back end would have been hanging out, so then it would have been harder to get off. Yeah, it's in about the best position it could be in, but we had to sort of do a little bit of back and forth to get it into a place where we could actually step on and off the boat without falling, because you took a tumble.
Well, yeah, I fell because the front was like a place where there was like loads of long grass, and so you can't see where your foot's going to go, and my foot like didn't go where I thought it was going to go, and so I fell.
And then your hand and your face went where they weren't supposed to go either.
Well, my fingers, I landed on my fingers, which is the bit that hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we actually moored up, after we came through the bridge, we'd had to do a quick speed test on the internet to see if we could even moor up, and it actually, fingers crossed, looked very good. So hopefully that's the case.
I'm just checking on that little scoundrel. Yeah, so the first lock we went through was set against us, and that made me think that the rest of them would be, although we only went through a second one. But the second one, I think the EA showed up and reset
Well, there was an EA van there, but also it was a push-button one, so they might have been like, oh, I better do it. And it was easier than the previous one, where you had to wind it by hand 3 times.
I had to wind it by hand, but it's funny, because I'm pretty sure I cycled that lock faster than the ones that are electric do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad.
The electric ones, there's a 2-minute delay, which isn't that long, really.
Well, this one was just fairly well balanced. So there's this big wheel, and you have to unlock the wheel, and then you have this kind of like, you jiggle it a little bit, and the lock slides out. Then there's this piece of steel on the far side that isn't quite big enough to hold on to.
Yeah.
It would be better if it was actually a handle.
Oh, no, the lady we were doing locks with the other day said there used to be a handle, but someone got their arm broken, like when it was spinning, it like, so they had to take it off.
Right. Well, okay. See, personally, I look at that and I go, what's one arm compared to the convenience of a whole bunch of people? Because getting your arm in front of that thing, yes, that would break your arm, but that would be a fairly stupid thing to do. Well, I mean, that's stupid, but like...
Well, it just takes a minute of not concentration.
I know, but
you're very unsympathetic.
I'm very unsympathetic because it's like, look, it's locks. There's lots of opportunity to break an arm with a spinning piece of metal.
Yeah.
And that doesn't stop us from still using windlasses. So the fact that we went, we're going to dismantle the wheel because somebody broke their arm. I'm like, was that person royalty? Yeah, but anyway, I was able to grab on to the little, like, I guess it was just the remnant of the handle, and I was able to use that to spin it. And it was actually quite well counterbalanced, so for most of its travel, I didn't really have to put a lot of force into it, so it wasn't too bad. But then I got my exercise pulling us in there.
And we're in, I don't know how you pronounce it, obviously.
Undel. Undel. It's probably pronounced Fnorp. Anyway, Oundle.
And we're just a short walk from the village where there's a post office, and I think we're very close to a Waitrose, so it must be posh around here.
Yeah. Might also be Oundel. Well, it's OUN part. I got Undel, Ondel, Ondel, Indel, Ondel, 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 Gnort. One way or another, no doubt, I will have a few 100,000 pronunciation comments down below telling me exactly how to pronounce it. But yeah, it was a nice cruise. I am cognizant of the fact that this bridge over here, which is quite a beautiful stone bridge with multiple arches and everything, and there's one arch you can go through and another arch if you're going in the other direction, and then there's 3 arches that go off into the field, and George went and was like, hey, I will investigate one of these arches, and the whole time I was like, those arches are for draining when the water comes up.
Oh wow, they are actually, aren't they?
I don't want to be here when the water comes up.
Because it's a big floodplain.
Yeah. But, you know, at least we got a field to throw the ball for George.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a little windy. I hope the wind drops because it's kind of impacting.
Yeah. It's not making the movements easier. But we need to make it up to Northampton. And
We've got
in order
plenty
to
of
do
time.
that, we've got to make some...
Actually, I say we've got plenty of time. We've got a week now, which is plenty of time.
Yeah, but we've got to make some fairly large trips within this week, which means we're sort of stuck with the wind if the wind is here.
Yeah, so I think
What's George doing?
I think it's about 3.5 more days travel, and we've got 7 days
to do it in.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not
So
today.
tune in next time for the next half a day
Of weather reports.
of fascinating weather reports and stuff. Yeah.
Alright,
And oh good, cold. That's some cold wind up behind there.
we might have a fire today.
I got a slightly wet behind, and that was well, that was breezing.
Before
sorry.
too much information. Before we left today, we swept our chimney because we didn't actually do it in the spring when we stopped having fires, because we didn't stop having fires for
Because
ages.
it wasn't really a spring this year.
So we might have a fire because it got really cold yesterday.
Yeah. But we got to bring it up to temperature pretty gentle this time so we don't crack the glass again.
Yeah.
And
We got to have breakfast because we haven't had breakfast.
yeah, George has had breakfast. So, on that note, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to Minimalist Maximal Velocity for our time-lapse videos, and click that bell if you want to get notifications.